I think he lost because Drake bet on him.
The Drake curse?
Yeah, I think you should tell Drake to bet on Mike this fight.
When Drake finally bet on me against Tommy Fury, I lost as well. I feel like it's actually a real.
It's very real, bro.
I believe this man has missed being here.
Well, as usual, he looks in incredible shape. It's on the chin.
There's the tap. Still undisputed.
Whenever Drake bets on a fighter and hypes them up, they step into the cage and end up getting dropped. This Drake curse is known to be a thing in combat sport. However, this curse also affected Israel Adesanya. Although Adesanya had a strong track record, the curse loomed when Drake placed a $2 million bet on him to beat Alex Pereira at UFC 281. Adesanya was ahead on points but got stopped in the 5th round by a TKO, further fueling the curse legend.
I already know what time it is. I put a light million up.
Light mill? Man.
I had to put a light mill on my brother. Return on investment is
Exactly.
a lot. I just want to wish you good luck. I love you, brother. You're different. You're a different guy, bro. I have a deep level of respect for you.
Oh man, you give me chills right now, brother. I appreciate that. As a fellow empath and a rake himself, I really appreciate that. So you're the man.
Moreover, ahead of his rematch with Leon Edwards at UFC 278, Drake placed a massive $200,000 bet on Kamaru Usman to win. In a shocking upset, Usman was knocked out by a head kick in the final minute of the 5th round, losing his title. The internet once again pointed to the curse. Furthermore, Drake publicly bet on Jorge Masvidal to beat Colby Covington at UFC 272, reportedly placing a $275,000 wager. Unfortunately for Drake and Masvidal, Covington won by unanimous decision, and fans quickly chalked it up to the curse striking again.
Holding professional record, 9 wins, 2 losses. He stands 6 feet 5 inches tall, weighing in at 206 pounds, fighting out of Dallas, Texas. Unanimous decision, Colby Chaos Covington.
However, before his highly anticipated UFC 229 fight against Khabib Nurmagomedov, Conor McGregor posed with Drake, who was draped in an Irish flag and supporting him. McGregor ended up losing the bout decisively by submission in the 4th round, and the moment became a meme that helped fuel the Drake curse myth.
I believe this man has missed being here.
Well, as usual, he looks in incredible shape. It's on the chin.
There's the tap. Still undisputed.
Jake Paul also claimed that when he lost to Tommy Fury, Drake had put his bet on him.
I think he lost because Drake bet on him.
The Drake curse?
Yeah, I think you should tell Drake to bet on Mike this fight.
When Drake finally bet on me against Tommy Fury, I lost as well. I feel like it's actually a real.
It's very real, bro.
It still needs to be seen who has Drake winning in the upcoming clash between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis. However, Sean O'Malley shared his excitement for the upcoming clash between Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev, saying the fight is just around the corner and he can't wait. Before training, he re-watched Dricus's bout with Israel Adesanya and felt Izzy was in full control until things unraveled in the 4th round. That performance reminded him how dangerous and unpredictable Dricus can be, making him even more eager to see how he performs against someone like Chimaev.
DDP versus Khamzat. What is that, like 2-3 weeks? Like,
yep.
Holy. I just actually watched DDP versus Israel this morning before practice, and dude, Izzy was looking so good in that fight. Like, I remember watching it and thinking, like, I only had rewatched it just this one time, but watching it live, I remember thinking like Izzy looked good, and I kind of, for the most part, dominating the fight, and then that 4th round just kind of got hit up top on the head and just, went downhill real fast from there. But God, Izzy was looking good in that fight, so I'd like to see Izzy come back. Izzy versus Sean 2 would be sweet, but yeah, Khamzat versus DDP is very exciting for me right now.
Caio Borralho admitted that he often bets against Dricus du Plessis, but Dricus keeps surprising him when it counts. He gave Khamzat Chimaev a 60% likelihood of ending the fight early, likely in the opening 2 rounds with relentless pressure. However, he also sees a 40% chance that du Plessis weathers the early assault using his size and physical strength and eventually shifts the momentum in his favor as the fight drags on.
This is crazy because I always bet against DDP and he always shut in my mouth. But I'm feeling like this can be a fight as fast as the fight with Hamza and Whitaker. like finishing the first round or beginning of the second round, 60% of me say that Khamzat will finish this fight like real fast, but 40% says that Dricus, with his size and height and his weight, he's a big guy for the division. I think he can stop the takedowns or even survive the first 2 rounds, and then the fight gets better for him. So I'm 60-40 on these 2 options.
Rainier de Ridder doesn't believe Khamzat Chimaev will get an early finish against Dricus du Plessis. In his view, du Plessis is too durable and gritty to be overwhelmed right away. He acknowledged that Khamzat may dominate some of the early action with control, but not to the point of ending the fight. De Ridder predicts that as the bout progresses, du Plessis will begin to take over and ultimately win on the scorecard.
To be honest, I don't really see Khamzat getting him out of there early. Dricus is such a mother, so game, so scrambly, especially in the early rounds, and then he builds in 3, 4, and 5. So my best guess would be Khamzat comes out guns blazing, maybe gets close to the back or gets close to control, but isn't able to finish him all the way in 1 and 2. And then we see Dricus build in 3, 4, and 5, and he wins the decision. I think that's most likely to happen.
Bilal Muhammad argued that people often overlook Khamzat Chimaev's conditioning. He agreed with Khabib Nurmagomedov that if Khamzat chooses to stand and strike with du Plessis, he could find success. While he acknowledged Dricus' unorthodox style and ability to wear opponents out, he also pointed out that du Plessis tends to absorb a lot of damage. Bilal thinks Khamzat needs to be patient and not waste too much energy early on, instead focusing on slowly breaking du Plessis down. Overall, he sees Khamzat as the sharper and more efficient striker.
Who do I got, DDP or Chimaev? Honestly, I mean, I think too many people are counting out Chimaev's cardio. I think where Khabib said it best, if he stands up with him and strikes with him, I think he'll do well. DDP is an awkward style, but he does get hit a lot. And he breaks a lot of guys with fatigue. If Chimaev doesn't come out super hard in the first round, trying to take him down and letting out all his energy, I think he'll be fine if he keeps it standing. And then maybe the later rounds, you try to wear on him a little bit, but you don't want to go out for that kill in the first round. And DDP just plays defensively. He's strong, obviously. And then you end up burning yourself out for 4 rounds. So he needs to be smart, especially in this 5-round fight. But I got Chimaev. I think Chimaev's a lot crisper on the feet and definitely crisper on the ground.
Brendan Schaub pointed out that although Khamzat is a large welterweight, Dricus du Plessis is even more massive, estimating he walks around 240 pounds and joking that he made Michael Bisping look tiny in a recent picture. Schaub said if Khamzat is going to win, it'll likely happen within the first 3 rounds. But what really interests him is whether Khamzat can still finish du Plessis in the championship rounds, considering Dricus' toughness and how unique this matchup is for both fighters.
Khamzat's big, right? Khamzat's big. DDP's my size. I don't know if you know. Nowhere. You seen the picture of him and Bisping? Bisping's a big dude. DDP dwarfs big. DDP is walks around about 240. The first round, of course, if Khamzat wins, and if it ends before 2 rounds, it's Khamzat all day. I would extend that after seeing this to even the first 3 rounds. 4 and 5 is what I want to see. I want to see Khamzat in the 4th and 5th. And if Khamzat's lighting his ass up, because DDP is going to be tough to finish. So if Khamzat's in the 4th and 5th finish him, then you got one. So for Khamzat, it's going to be dealing with that mass.
Who has DDP fought that's even close to that style, that explosive, shoot from 10 feet out, grab you, not let go till he gets what he wants?
That's why it's a great fight.
Oh,
because DDP hasn't fought anybody like Khamzat, and Khamzat hasn't fought anybody like DDP.
Henry Cejudo stated that while Khamzat Chimaev has the ability to finish almost anyone within 1 round, he doesn't expect that outcome against Dricus du Plessis. According to Cejudo, du Plessis' constant pressure and ability to scramble make him a difficult opponent to overwhelm quickly. He mentioned that Chimaev would have to manage his energy across 5 rounds and admitted that his past view of du Plessis as reckless has changed. He now sees Dricus' pace and aggression as a serious threat.
Does Khamzat beat DDP? Man, Khamzat could beat anybody in the world in about a round. It's super impressed with what he did to Robert Whittaker. I don't see that against DDP. DDP's scrambly, man. You're gonna need to really be able to pace yourself for 5 rounds. And with DDP's train just continue to keep rolling and he's still steaming and his train's still hot, it depends on how long DDP wants to take a break. You're gonna have to prepare, man, for a guy like DDP. You're gonna need a 3-rounder or a 5-rounder to get ready, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think DDP's too I used to think he was the sloppiest thing on planet Earth, and I thought the same thing about Merab until they bring that volume and just the tenacity that changes everything.
Dominic Cruz highlighted Du Plessis' versatile striking and stance switching as key tools that help him stay upright against takedown attempts. He thinks Dricus has the physical strength to match Khamzat's early intensity, something that most of Chimaev's previous opponents lacked. Even so, Cruz acknowledged that this might be the most difficult challenge Du Plessis has ever faced inside the octagon.
Man, I actually really like Dricus right now, the way he's looking. Like I said in the Schmo interview, he doesn't really stay on the center line. His striking and the stance switch really supports him in the rest of the takedown defense. Yeah. Because as long as you don't sit right in front of a guy consistently, it's hard to get a hold of the legs and shoot on you. So he's also very big and strong, so I think he can challenge the strength of Chimaev in the first 2 rounds, which a lot of people haven't been able to rival. Just the strength alone has been too much, and I think Dricus is sturdy enough and big enough he can challenge it, but I will say I think it might be the toughest fight of his career so far.
Azamat Bakoev shared his opinion that Dricus Du Plessis is often overlooked despite holding the title. He admitted that Khamzat Chimaev has the power and skill to dominate most fighters, but believes this matchup won't be one-sided. Bakoev gave Chimaev a slight edge, saying the fight was close, with perhaps a 55% chance in Chimaev's favor.
Everybody underestimates the champion, Dricus Du Plessis, but I think it's going to be not easy fight for Khamzat Chimaev. But Khamzat Chimaev also strong. He destroyed a lot of fighters, and but I still think it's going to be close fight, and who knows who's gonna win? Maybe 55%. So it's Chimaev. Like that.
Coach Eric Nixon shared his analysis of Dricus Du Plessis, noting that he's studied him in depth and sees a fighter who is both disciplined and guided by a strong coaching team. He emphasized Dricus' significant growth since his bout with Brad, culminating in him becoming a world champion. Nixon pointed out that while Dricus may appear chaotic during fights, his actions are calculated and come from consistent drills and training. He also mentioned how Dricus' rhythm-breaking style makes it difficult for opponents to settle. According to Nixon, the smartest way to neutralize him is to put him on the mat and maintain control there.
I'm so curious to how Khamzat and DDP plays out. I feel like DDP's going to be able to weather the storm the first 2 rounds and then start taking off the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th. What do you think?
I do too. I've studied DDP a bunch. Super respectful, nice guy. He's very well coached. Just his overall development, he's jumped leaps and bounds in between that Brad fight to now being world champion. People think it looks erratic, but it's not. It's very calculated what he's trying to do. It's a lot of those same reps that he does, but there's a motion to him that's kind of hard to gather rhythm. How do you eliminate all that? Take a guy down.
Jason Mayhem Miller broke down the stylistic clash between Du Plessis and Chimaev, calling it a difficult puzzle for Dricus to solve. He highlighted Chimaev's effective blend of striking rooted in European kickboxing and elite grappling, making him a multifaceted threat. Mayhem questioned whether Du Plessis could keep up in scrambles, stay upright against the takedown threat, and find openings in striking exchanges while moving forward. He hinted that conditioning might play a pivotal role in deciding the winner of this intense contest.
Khamzat, this kind of thing is, all right, so now do you counter wrestle? Do you find your striking exchanges working when you push the guy backwards? And can you do that without overshooting and getting taken down? Do you want to get taken down and make a scramble and this? No, probably not. Du Plessis has work cut out for him. He has to kind of figure this enigma out of a dude who can kickbox pretty good with this European style kickboxing and also really high level grappling. I don't know. I think it'll come down to who's in the best shape, who's the best conditioned. That's really the end of that. Happy birthday, August 16th. We're going to see that one.
Mayhem leaned in favor of Chimaev slightly, noting that Khamzat's lifelong grappling background gives him a calmness and efficiency in grappling situations that many lack. That early experience allows him to conserve energy and remain composed where others might fatigue. Although he respects Du Plessis' strength and grappling talent, Mayhem observed that his size appears to come more from muscular buildup rather than natural frame, which might be a disadvantage during drawn-out grappling exchanges. He suggested Chimaev could pull off a win if the fight turns into a grind.
Chimaev, you know, because he has like this special ingrained, and I say this because you start the kids young and they just get a little extra something, you know, there's a little bit of extra feel. There's another 10,000 hours put on top of their athleticism because they've been doing this for so long, grappling especially. And Du Plessis is an excellent grappler, but what it comes down to is being able to relax during those grappling exchanges and not use that much energy. His body is big, but he's like a bigger human being, not necessarily just a big muscle-bound guy like Du Plessis. He's like you know, Du Plessis has the frame of a lighter man, but has put on muscle to compete at the higher weight class. Yeah, Chimaev might have an edge. It might be an upset there.
Demetrius Johnson gave his take, saying that if Chimaev doesn't get a quick finish, things could spiral out of control for him. He referenced previous performances against fighters like Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman, where Chimaev started strong but couldn't seal the deal. Johnson believes Du Plessis' awkward movement, tall frame, and relentless pace will eventually wear Khamzat down. If Chimaev can't adapt early, he sees Du Plessis taking over and possibly dominating the later rounds.
Chimaev cannot get him down.
He will, but yeah.
But let's say he does get him down.
Yep.
And he doesn't finish him, right? I think he's spent. Because you look at his fights. You look when he fought Gilbert Burns, when he fought Kamaru Usman. He had Kamaru Usman fully mounted back hooks and everything, right?
Yep.
Working for the choke, pounding him, could not finish him,
Couldn't get him.
The rest of the time, he could not find it was shadow boxer. Granted, he might be sick or whatever, but if he cannot figure it out within those first 2 rounds or the first round he gets him down, I think DDP is gonna do what he does best. He's gonna be awkward. He's gonna be you know, do the kicks, and I think DDP is gonna beat him.
Yeah,
like I
could
think
see it.
I think Khamzat Chimaev is more athletic, more traditional, but I think that awkwardness of the old what did he say? The lanky man style. I think DDP is gonna put in the bag.
Jamahal Hill expressed his support for Dricus Du Plessis in the potential clash, admitting that Du Plessis has repeatedly surpassed his expectations. He credited Du Plessis with having excellent endurance and raw physicality, making him a nightmare matchup for many fighters. Hill also pointed to Chimaev's tendency to slow down in later rounds as a concern. He believes the unpredictability of Du Plessis' striking could create opportunities to land meaningful shots, though he acknowledged Chimaev's world-class grappling still makes him dangerous.
I probably favor DDP in that one, just for the simple fact of I've doubted this dude so many times now, and he's shut me up bad every time. It may look like he's like fatiguing or he's like slowing down, but he's really not. I think he's got the better cardio. His physical strength, I believe, can pose a problem for anybody in that division. We've seen Khamzat fade over the course of rounds before. I just believe Dricus has a really, really awkward way of throwing strikes that's not easy to time, get a read on. So I believe he will land. So I probably lean more towards DDP, but you can't count a guy like Khamzat out. I believe he's one of the best natural pure grapplers. He does have the ability to throw some hands too. So it's interesting.
Robert Whitaker praised the explosiveness and technical finesse behind Chimaev's takedowns, but emphasized Du Plessis' grit and resilience. He described Dricus as a fighter who is incredibly hard to finish even when under pressure. Whitaker believes that if Du Plessis can weather the storm in the early minutes, his toughness might allow him to shift the tide and come out victorious as the fight wears on.
Khamzat and DDP, the next fight. Who do you think is going to walk away as the champion?
I can't see anyone really stopping Chimaev's takedowns. His takedown is so hard to stop. It's super high level. Can DDP drag it into those later rounds? Can it get through the first grappling exchanges and then start to capitalize on his just like persistence, like doggedness to go away? Honestly, if Chimaev can't get DDP out of there, DDP wins. DDP wins almost every fight. You can't get rid of him, right? Because he's like mold, dude.
That's it for today's video. So what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about their fight? We would love to hear your thoughts on this fight. So share your thoughts in the comments section, and also make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Also check out our other videos on the screen.